This week, I'm your Sherpa up the mountain of credit, searching for that high summit, which is the perfect 850 score. Remember, the better your credit score, the easier it is to get approved for the travel rewards credit cards that make it easy and affordable to live your travel dreams. Today, we're still in that big-ass 35% piece of the credit pie as we move on to derogatory marks. I want to apologize in advance if I accidentally say derogatory remarks. They sound similar, but they're not the same. Derogatory remarks is when you call someone an asshole. Derogatory marks, on the other hand, is when your credit report makes you look like an asshole. Derogatory marks on your credit score are non-debt entries that reflect badly on you. Usually it's something filed in court, an eviction, a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, a judgment against you in a civil suit, and so on. This portion of your credit score is folded into that 35% chunk of the score we talked about in the last video on payment history. They get accounted for together. Damage to one is the same as damage to the other. So what does credit damage due to derogatory marks look like? Again, the situation is bleak, even more bleak in some ways than payment history. You can have excellent credit in this category only if you have a grand total of 0 derogatory marks. What about good credit? There is no good credit category in derogatory remarks. Did it fucking again. There is no good category in derogatory marks. If you get one derogatory mark, one judgment, one eviction, you get busted all the way down to fair with a loss of 160 points or more. 2 or 3 derogatory marks and you are in poor territory. Any more and it's very poor. The reason derogatory marks are even more bleak than payment history is because they can take even longer to go away. Bankruptcies and foreclosures stay on your report for up to 10 years, not 7, before they can be legally expunged from your reports and no longer affect your score. You can dispute these entries for a temporary score boost, but that won't hold up if creditors inspect your credit reports. It's hard to sue to get them removed when the judgment itself was handed down by a court. You had better have evidence that the first judgment was in error, and if you have that, then why didn't you bring it in the first place to avoid the judgment? Sorry, this is a channel with no judgment. Shit happens to everyone and we deal with it as best we can. Still, the only thing to do with this portion of your credit score is to wait the 10 years and to try hard not to get any more derogatory remarks or the clock starts again. It just did it, derogatory remarks. The good news is that once time is up and the derogatory mark is expunged, your credit score will improve dramatically, almost overnight, because a big anchor holding it down has been cut loose. This is a fairly short video because derogatory marks are a pretty blunt instrument. The best choice is to avoid them in the first place, but if you have them, you need to wait them out. That's okay though, because other portions of the perfect credit score take time too. But the next portion of your credit score, utilization, is a lot more nimble. And it's a big portion of your credit score that you can improve overnight. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you like this content, follow the channel and hit that little bell icon so that your phone buzzes every time we vomit some content out there. Make sure to follow us at @CreditCarson and @PaulGreenemeyer on Instagram. Follow the Travel Punks on Facebook and look for the Travel Punks podcast in all your podcast outlets. Was that everything? I think that's everything.